Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Magic and Miracles, where you learn how to be the magician of your life. My name is Anna, and I'm your most favorite, most kind, most amazing manifestational coach. All the information from me is below. Now, really quick, the reason I'm recording this is because I wanted to announce that I have a brand new package on my website. Other than my usual packages, which are monthly unlimited complete, which is the coaching, I just now included, or rather brought back this package that was called 5 and 5, which is 5 audios and 5 emails. Okay. Now, what that means is that you record to me a 20-minute audio max, and I will reply with my own audio, which usually far exceeds the 20-minute mark. Sometimes people send me a 20-minute audio and I go into the mark of 1 hour explaining what they need to do and analyzing it. So this is for people who, first of all, keep reaching out to me and say, well, I can't really do the full package. I can do only this much and this and that. Here's your chance to take advantage of it, but also of some of my guidance, which will be 5 audios from me. Okay, it's 5 emails and 5 audios from me. This is what you will receive. I will analyze your situation to the best of my ability. Now, don't ask me to be a magician that, can fly. All right. I always say that it's recommended that you spend at least a month in coaching with me, realistically 2 to 3 months. This is for people who want to get some guidance, some direction in their life. And if you choose to upgrade, right, to the monthly coaching, to then the 2 month and this and that, it's a better deal. You get way more from me. You get unlimited audios. There is no count on audios. Then you can apply that coaching, that difference rather, towards the coaching, towards your monthly, if you decide to upgrade. I will send you a separate link. It's not going to be on my website. It's going to be like through the link of my company. Now, please book through my website. Unless you have a Cash App. Yeah, I do always prefer Cash App. There was some situation with my Cash App. It's been addressed and fixed. But please, when you Cash App me, please confirm that you did send me an email, and I will send you the agreement, okay, between us, the coaching agreement. If you book through my website, the agreement is attached. You need to sign it, you need to date it, you need to scan it, and you need to email it to me back. The agreement basically contains verbiage towards the rules of the coaching that are very understandable to a reasonable person. And that basically involves that I'm not a therapist. I am a coach. You don't get to disrespect me. You don't get to rebuttal my methods. You come humble. You don't get to bombard me with messages. You don't get to, have me 24/7 on call. I will reply when I will reply. It usually takes me a day or two, depending on my schedule. My schedule is very busy, so please, I will usually get your number and I will text you when your audio is ready. And if this is the pace that you're comfortable with, which most people are, this is the agreement. In addition to that, the fee is non-refundable. Absolutely not. Will you ever get your money back? Because I assume that you are going into this with serious intentions. Okay, I need to block out my time. You need to present yourself as a serious client, and then we go to work on your history. Okay, this is the only way I play. No other way will I play ever. Now, if you would like to sign up for my monthly complete or unlimited, I will entertain obviously a phone call to discuss the matters with you that are at hand for you, and then I will apply that towards your monthly. Again, I really want you to be satisfied. I just want to set the expectation that just like you need to have your issues addressed, I have certain boundaries of my own as a coach. I need the respect. I need for myself to want to work with you. Otherwise, you will not get the best of me. If you start disrespecting me, if you start bombarding me, if you start treating me as somebody that you can treat however, this will not go well. Trust me, it will not. I will just interrupt the coaching and that will be the end of it. I thrive on inspiration. I like right now I'm recording this because I am inspired. I want to give the best to the lovely people of YouTube, to people around the world that really crave it, that really want it. This is why I keep coming up with ways to satisfy the need out there, because I look at other coaches on the internet and, I'm not impressed. I just want to say I'm not impressed. I'm really not. It's really confusing, and it's really like if I was somebody looking for a coach right now, I really can't point to the person who's a good coach. Other than there are many. Obviously, there are many very great teachers who are like for example, Bashar. I love Joe Dispenza, Greg Braden, James Lipton. Bentinho Massaro. I fucking love that guy. He's so brilliant and cute, by the way. Which sure matters when you're trying to deliver the message. But anyway, for the most part, these coaches out there, I don't resonate with. I'm trying to deliver the message that I really would love for people to have. Okay, so I hope you will understand why I keep reiterating it, because I really I would love to work with people who are coherent, who are savvy, who understand. I never had to address this part of situation in my previous coaching life, which was mainly with entertainment people. Everybody was very respectful, but once in a while I encounter people who are so disrespectful that it really just blows my mind. I never really had to encounter it, and this is why I keep just like talking about it. So I hope you'll forgive me the big intro. Okay, so I was actually going to record this much later in the week, but since I'm inspired and it's my day off, technically Sunday is my day off, as all of you know. I don't know, I got some like jazz in me, and I thought I would record this earlier because tomorrow is a very busy day for me. The subject of today is how to create telepathically, okay? And I've addressed this subject several times in some other audios of mine, like transmission of energy and transmission of thoughts. But it's all based on this idea that you're the only thinking mind in your world. And therefore, when people start addressing blame towards circumstances, people, and events, it really doesn't make any sense and it's fruitless. Now, in coaching, it's very important to do that, and I do this all the time in my coaching. We start addressing your childhood, adolescence, your college years, etc., simply because I'm very interested, extremely interested in your blueprint. What is a blueprint? It's a set of beliefs that you now hold. After that, I'm profoundly interested in changing that blueprint so that you can move on with your life with a new blueprint and create a new destiny, essentially, for yourself. That is purely created out of your desires and out of your magic, out of your intuition and out of your dreams. Now we're going to cover intuition in another audio. I was actually going to record this first, but I'm more inclined to do this one for some reason. So if everything is you, right, from the beginning, everything is you, and this world is holographic, You are holographic. Everything around you is holographic. The people in your life have been holographic. The events are holographic. Your bank account is holographic. Okay. Even your city is holographic. It doesn't actually exist. Okay. I don't want to get too deep into the subject, but basically, this is just a dream. It doesn't actually exist. Many times I go into my dreams and I actually myself have dreams where I revisit certain places, I revisit certain people, certain scenarios, because for me personally, this started happening after 2012 when I started educating myself in the principles of the universe. And I started having recurring dreams, which means not the same scenario in particular, but a certain theme, a certain world. I revisit certain worlds on a regular basis. And it seems as though, actually, I should correct myself. It's not that it seems, it is that this world exists and I'm living out my parallel reality in that world. And it's just so happens that I am more focused on Anna in New York City, who is a fashion designer, songwriter, and also a manifestational coach, which I mostly love. Out of my all of my occupations, I love them all equally, but at this moment in time, I think I'm really in love with coaching people, is what it is. Nevertheless, at this moment in time, I'm focused on this version of myself. In other realities, I am a man, I am maybe of a different race, I look very different, I live in a completely different time, maybe in Elvis years, maybe in Michael Jackson years, like you name it. I'm just saying, I've seen so many different dreams that seem so real, that have been different people, and I don't believe for 1 second that this was a dream. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I know so many different things that I looked it up from my dream and I realized that it was the truth. And no other way did I have any way of knowing it. This has been confirmed through my friends that I've had dreams about, or through my lovers, and this and that and the other. So, in other words, dreams are not just dreams, and this reality is just another dream. And so, if you're equipped with this knowledge that you are the only one residing in your dream, you're the dreamer, and the dream is you. You are the one concocting this dream. You are the one who concocts the dreams in your sleep, meaning you connect to a parallel reality in which you're living out a certain situation. And the entire time, this dream is under your control, whether you know it or not, right? So if we have this premise, and the premise is sound, as Neville Goddard says, then it so follows that you can create telepathically. You don't need to run around, like I say. You don't need to beg anybody. You don't need to plead. You don't need to ask for anything ever again. Just please understand this, that this is the way the universe works. If more people understood that this is how it works, people wouldn't be criminally inclined. They would understand that they don't need to do any of these things. Of course, that's a very kind of like extreme example. But the more I look at different people in my coaching, some of them are really, inclined to do things that don't feel good to them sometimes. And that is not necessary. You only are inclined to do things that don't feel good to you when you feel powerless. If you feel powerless, if your premise is that you are powerless in your world, then yes, I agree, you would start doing stupid shit, for the lack of better verbiage. But if you knew you're the only thinking mind in the universe, in your world, then the entire motherfucking world is under your command. And that's just what the truth is. And I know for some people it's so really hard to grasp, like people come to me with all sorts of like religious backgrounds and they say, but Anna, I've been taught, that, God, there's an outside God and da 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 da, and I'm Christian, I'm Orthodox, I'm this, I'm that, da da. And I say, okay, that's programming. You've been programmed to think a certain way. Obviously, it hasn't worked. And so maybe you should stop attributing so much importance to the 3D, to the outside world, and start contributing way more importance than that to yourself. Because at the end of the day, you're the one in charge. Really, I cannot say this enough. You're the one in charge. You're the one in charge. I think I keep saying that, but a lot of people don't understand that fully. Because if you really like sat down for a second here and really understood that you're the one in charge and nobody else has ever been in charge, you would come to a lot of fucking conclusions. And I think it's high time that a lot of people started understanding these things, because a lot of problems then get solved. If you're the one in charge, what is there to complain about? It's only a decision away from making your life what it is you want it to be. Right? Right. And so the telepathic creation is just that. Again, you don't run around, you don't plead, you don't beg, you don't ask anything from anybody. You mentally create the image. You mentally create the conversation. You mentally create the scenario. You mentally create the version of that person. Now, it's very difficult for people, and here's why. For two reasons. Experience and blueprints. Those two things are very dominant in your memory, and it takes delusion to come up with a new scenario, to come up with a new version of events, of a new person, la la la. But that's the only way. I teach delusion, and the other thing I teach in my coaching is selfishness, in the most benevolent meaning of that word. Because if you aren't loving towards yourself, if you aren't benevolent towards yourself, nobody else is going to be. Let me tell you that right now. Like, write it down, post it on your wall, and memorize it. If you aren't going to take care of yourself, nobody under the sun is going to take care of you. And if somebody is still going to take care of you, it's not going to be permanent. They don't have to. You're going to eventually come to your senses and understand how to take care of yourself. Because ultimately the universe is for expansion, for broadening horizons, and for new things and greater things. So when you want to create anything at all, whether it's the specific person, whatever it has to do with them coming back to you. I know that's a prevalent, theme on the internet, and many people milk this like the never-ending cash cow. And here's the thing, right? It's not that difficult. The idea is that you work on yourself, because once you understand that you're the telepathic transmission tower, it all becomes quite easy. You don't need to go to anybody for advice anymore. It's just, that's it. You need to work on, which is why I offer coaching, to make people understand, like, you don't need to spend like endless months in coaching or anywhere, like in any kind of like capacity of getting advice from anybody. You just need to situate yourself. So once you have the grasp on yourself, it's over. It's game over. You can go ahead and enjoy your life. Now, once in a while, somebody comes back into my coaching for a little refresher, this and that. That's good. But at the end of the day, right, I guarantee you that I don't spend time anywhere near as long as other coaches do with other clients as I do. And that's because I give them full blast, everything I've got, and I tell them like it is. And I give them my time profoundly. There are many coaches on the internet, but they just give an hour a week an hour a week of their coaching, or like some kind of emails. They never talk to them. I I apologize. That's complete and utter bullshit. I talk to my clients on the phone regularly. There's a telephone package that is like unlimited phone calls. I give them all in my recordings on my audios, and with my audios and emails and everything, and by text. I want to be of complete help to you so that you can go on in your merry jolly life and create the abundance, the happiness. I don't know, I can't speak English right now. It's my day off. Their abundance and happiness, and absolute, first of all, confidence that I can continue doing this year after year, right? And that's what really matters to me, because until the job is done, it's not really done. And so these stupid little courses here and there, what people offer, it's, you know, I don't want to be politically incorrect or whatever it is. Not politically incorrect, but I don't want to be too, vulgar. But it just doesn't do it. It just really doesn't do it. I think a lot of people knew what I was going to say. Instead of the main course, you get like a little stupid appetizer that's the size of a quarter. Okay. I think if you're really into helping people, you really help people. Otherwise, you're just, making money for no reason. And so let's go back to our subject here. Raising your consciousness. That's what's going to get you there. Raising your consciousness. Because everybody else is involved in your mind. Your mind outpictures all these people. Your SP, the money, the job, everything, right? And so you're the center of creation. So how on earth are you supposed to create anything without taking care of yourself? So I keep coming back around to that. Telepathically creating a new reality, a new SP, is easy when you clear the blocks that you've got, the fears that you've got, the insecurities that you've got, the things that the beliefs that you have been carrying within yourself for such a long time in some cases. And you just sit down and just right now, like literal, this is not an exaggeration. You could sit in your chair, you can lay on the bed, you can take a walk in the beautiful Central Park, wherever you are, right? And you can be like, I intend for this SP to turn their mind around and become this new person. And all that you're doing, right, in the meantime, like whatever it is, I just gave an example, but whatever it is you're doing in that, like, moment of intention, of creation, is that you're literally playing this game with yourself. There's nobody else, right? So if you're the only thinking mind in town, in the universe, then this is a game you play with yourself, which is why when people come to me and they're completely unconscious of what they've been creating, it's, I'll hear them out and this and that, but at the end of the day, you created this, and for a reason. Now, the reason is always benevolent, right? Because you showed yourself something that you don't want to have in your life. You don't want to create it anymore. And that's good information. That's fantastic information, because you created something shady and you said, oh, look, you looked at it and it was like, whoa, no. No, never again. But look at how this is a mirror image of my conscious mind. And so it's just this little snapshot of what I do, but it's always a mirror image of your subconscious mind. There's no question about it. It's true 100% of the time. And so once you figure out how to clear those blocks, you can literally sit down and command the universe to create something else, something entirely different. It takes letting go. It takes restructuring your beliefs. It takes forgiveness. There's no other way. Now, if anybody tells you anything else than that, they're lying to you. Okay? I would say 99.9999999% of the time, people come to me in coaching, okay? And they tell me their story about this, that, and the other, this SPN, that, bada, 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 boo, chapa, chupa, chupa, choo, and da, badu, badu, badu. Okay. So let's see how your blueprint has created this, and let's see how we can reconfigure it so that you can create something different. This is it. This is the name of the game. And it really does take patience, perseverance, and commitment for somebody to want to do it. Now, if you're not one of those people who, who wants to commit to like bettering their life, you know what? That's fine. It's your life. But I'm just here assisting people who do want to change their life for the better, because the results are truly remarkable. It's not necessarily that, I brag on me, but the people who show up in my coaching, which is, 90% of the time, yeah, people show up and they do the work, they see the results. They do. 100% of the time, of 90% of the time of people, they do see results. And even if you need a refresher course, it's still somebody who wants to work on it, as long as you understand that there's something to work on. There are some people who think that nothing is their fault, and that's a big problem. That's a whole other situation where somebody comes to me and says, no, this is their fault, and this is their fault, and this is their fault. And I'm the victim here, and I'm going to remain a victim for the rest of my coaching. Yeah, no. You've got other problems I don't want to know about. No. It is your responsibility in the sense that you've created it. And if you refuse to acknowledge it, then we don't have a conversation. If you start, neglecting your responsibility in that your subconscious mind created all of this, I don't know how to talk to a person like that. That's a whole other situation. Like I said, like I'm not into like mental disorders and this and that. Because I think when people hold no responsibility for their own actions and for their own situations, it kind of becomes like, yeah, okay, I don't go in that area. The idea is to change your mindset enough that you're so magnetic that nothing like that today you can wish for something and it will be drawn to you. Again, you don't need to run around and ask for it or beg anybody. It will just come to you. It will come to you regardless of what anybody thinks. What they think is their problem. What you think creates your life. I keep trying to come up with the words that really suit this explanation of how easy this is. It's not that it's hard. Once you reconfigure your mindset, it's that it's easy. And I think a lot of people are actually scared by that, because all of their life it was some kind of other way. But now they are trying to learn a different kind of way. And a lot of people who came in my coaching said, you know what, at some point I thought like, the manifestation and the law of attraction was bullshit. A lot of people say that to me. And I'm like, okay, then explain to me how you reproduced all of these events in your life that are a mirror image of your consciousness. Don't worry, I'll wait. If this is bullshit, then how do you explain that you literally reproduce the events of your consciousness, of your inner mind? Because the only mind there is your mind. Thus, it follows your mind creates everything. So you might as well invest in your mind. Let me explain it to you like very practically, and I'm going to wrap this up. If you just sat in a chair or composed an idea in your mind, let's just say you receive an email. I do this all the time, so I'm just going to give you this example. You receive an email from somebody who you've been long waiting to hear from. And they're telling you exactly what you want to hear. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's an SP or whatever. It really doesn't matter. Business partner, blah, blah, blah. Now, this happened in your mind not because you're so original, but because you tapped into that parallel reality in which that already happened. And the more you think of this reality, it will come towards you. There is steps. It's like a download process. Like once you hit download on a certain app on your phone, it starts downloading, but there's like a time lag by which, in which you kind of like wait, like by the time it gets to 100%, from the time you hit download, there's a time, okay? It doesn't just happen like poof, instantly. It happens after a while. And so it can happen tomorrow, the day after, 2 days from now, a month from now. I don't know. Depends on the intensity of your desire. But the idea is you telepathically transmit those ideas out into the realms of possibilities of anything being possible, but anything at all. This person emailing you, that person texting you, this SP becoming a new version, you're receiving a certain amount of money. I mean, whatever, the list goes on, right? And you're just the way the people create their realities is by tapping into different realities. And the reason certain people keep recreating certain dysfunction in their life is because they're on a certain frequency and only certain parallel realities are available to them through their consciousness. If you elevate your consciousness through understanding that, first of all, you created all of this to begin with, there's nobody else to blame. Yes, your mother, father, affected you, but now what are you doing? Now what are you working on, right? Yeah, I have sympathy for people who grew up in dysfunction. I know my own mother, is a narcissistic person. Which is why I probably do the work that I do. But the thing is, what are you doing now, right? Are you wallowing in your sorrow? Are you doing something to help yourself and to change your consciousness? Because once you elevate your consciousness, guess what? Nobody can trigger you anymore. Nobody can superimpose their bullshit on you. You superimposed your bullshit on them. Because you realize once and for all that you create your reality. That's it. And then there is no stopping you. Do you understand what the fuck I'm saying to you? This is how you telepathically create. And then you sit in the middle of your universe like the golden Buddha that you are. And you just say, today, this is on the menu. Let me grab my mini goals, which, if you'll ever end up in my coaching, you will. You will understand what mini goals are. You write down the mini goals for each day, what you want to achieve that day. Okay, today I want to achieve that. Today I want to achieve that. But it doesn't happen overnight. You really have to work on yourself so that you become this master manifester. You become this telepathic fucking genius where, you know what, other people look at you and like, I don't see you working so hard. I don't see you doing much. How the fuck are you accomplishing so much? Like, I'm pissed the fuck off. What are you doing? What do you do that's different from other people? And many people ask me that question. I'm like, you know what? It's all in my head. I'm like Mozart, Mozart never wrote a single composition with corrections. It all just came from his head. It's like that. He was tuning into that parallel reality in which those compositions were already fucking accomplished. And he was just like, yes, 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 higher self, please, the next note. Yeah, okay. It didn't come from him. It came from the superior mind, the higher mind that is... Like I said in the previous audio, there's a higher self component and the 3D component to you. And the more you are attuned to the higher self component, the more you accomplish. And that's 3D ain't shit. This is not even the beginning of accomplishing things. The telepathic creation happens when you're certain in yourself, you've done the work on yourself, and you've completely 100% downloaded that there's nobody else but you who is commanding, sending out commands, and everybody's under your command. But unless you have that confidence that that is so, nobody moves. It's like in the Bible, tell the mountain to move and it will move. But do you have the confidence to say to the mountain to move? That remains a question for you. Another one is my favorite example when Yoda in Star Wars says, don't try, just do. And he, pulls this starship out of the fucking lake in front of Luke, I think his name is, onto the soil and says, you do it all with consciousness. You do it all telepathically. That's the name of the game. There's nothing else going on. Once you know you've done it in your mind, it is done. But unless you know it's done, it's not done. But if it in your mind it's done, it's fucking done. And then you relax. And then you just breathe. And you say, I don't care what the 3D shows me right now. I know what I have in my mind. My imagination is more important than what you see in the 3D, because everything in the 3D comes from imagination. Thank you very much for listening. Until next time. Ciao, ciao.